Flotsam and Jetsam, The End of Chaos. 12 tracks, 49 minutes, 49 minutes it should be. 13th studio album from the American thrash band, released January 2019 by AFM Records. Produced by the band, but mixed and mastered by Jakob Hansen. Recorded at Sonic Fish Productions, Gnome Lord Studios, and Wayne Manor Studios. 3 singles have been released in Recover, Demolition Man, and Control. So far, the album has peaked number 19 in Germany, number 57 in Sweden. This is the band's first album with drummer Ken Mary after Jason Bittner left to join Overkill. Go for it.
I don't have a lot of history with this band, oddly enough.
I think that's the same for a lot of people out there.
I mean, I've heard the name so much because of the Jason Newsted thing, but I've never really gone and listened to it much. And, you know, I actually found this old school, but very cool. Really nice guitar work, as I suppose you'd expect from sort of a thrash band that's coming out of that era. Particularly the solos and really nice dueling guitar stuff are really, you know... It's a bit of tag team work. It was really well done. Riffs for days. Drum and bass were really, really solid. But I particularly enjoyed the vocal. I thought the vocal was really well nice, really well captured.
Nice and melodic as well.
Yeah, that's right. And so for those old school metalheads, it was, you know, just sat really metal. Yeah, it sat really comfortably with me. I really enjoyed it. I sort of, if I wanted to compare it to something with more modern, I said, Avenged Sevenfold if you remove the many layers of cheese.
I get what you mean.
You know?
It's amazing that removing cheese makes it more old school.
Makes it more old school, yeah, it's bizarre. But in this case, it does. But the whole thing seems a bit weird because again here it's got a vintage feel, but it doesn't really feel old to listen to.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing.
They've done it well.
They've done it really, really well. Maybe goes a little long. There's probably a couple they could have trimmed, but. You know, all in all, I thought it was pretty cool. I gave it 8 out of 10. The highlights for me were Architects of Hate, Control, Prepare for Chaos, and Good or Bad.
Yeah, again, like most people, I only knew this band because of Jason Newsted and Jason Bittner, funnily enough. First things first, the cover. Ooh. That cover was...
Interesting.
Yeah, it's made out of Microsoft Paint from Windows 95.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, as has been said, very old school, rough power metal. Production I found actually quite similar to, again, sort of 80s Priest kind of stuff, production wise. For mine though, when it comes to a lot of these older metal bands where, you know, they've had ex-members that have been in other bands or they've sort of been floating around the scene with those other bands that did get super famous, and they put out albums today, they're all a bit the same for me in the sense that this is a good album, but you can see why they didn't get as big as other bands. The riffs are quite good, the guitar solos are pretty good, or they're as expected from older metal bands, the guitar playing's freaking great. But for mine, it did feel a little bit like some rehashed stuff, nothing really standing out for me, really. It was just a bit flat and a bit of an album.
A bit of an album.
No, but I mean, in the sense
I know what you mean, though, yeah.
Yeah, like it's good, it's listenable, but it's certainly not better than anything else. Like, I mean, you listen to those older, you know, 80s metal bands that, you know, you do think of, whether it be your Exoduses or your Metallicas or anything like that, this is definitely a step down. And there's a reason why those guys got bigger than Flotsam and Jetsam. So yeah, overall I thought it was painfully average and gave it 6 out of 10.
Wow. Okay. It's been covered off, but the history of this band is littered with stories of fate being unkind to them. This is a band that I know have had hit and miss records with their fan base and with the wider public over the duration. As such, unlike everyone else, I haven't delved too deeply into their catalogue. If you're expecting Big Four style thrash, that isn't what you're going to get here. This is much more traditional old school metal. It does have those undertones in there, but it's much more just old school metal. This is where I think the old metalheads are going to appreciate it more than the younger ones coming through. This isn't for a youth market. This is just guys doing music for themselves. It's high energy stuff, really melodic, and the performances pound on this. I thought it was good. I thought the drumming was fantastic. Ken Mary on the drums was fucking great. But I thought the vocal harmonies were good, the work from the guitar and bass was good, and I loved the rhythm, the melody, the dual guitar work, along with the lead work. That was all really cool. And then you've got the drums that are just stunning, along with these bass runs. Like, the bass playing was fantastic on this release. And I don't normally hear it, but the production was geared and the tone was great, that you could just hear it, and it filled out the songs wonderfully. I thought the songs were all written allowed everyone to shine while being cohesive. It's well done. If you like metal, I think check it out. Like as in traditional old school metal, I think get onto it. Lyrics are fantastic. They're intense but loaded with some meaning. It suits the vocal melody and they fit the songs. You get the feeling this has been really well honed. I thought they spent a lot of time on these songs and trimmed the fat and got it all leaned up and away you go. And there are some good hooks in there as well from mine. I thought the production was really good. You can hear absolutely everything, but in just the right way. This isn't one of those ones where you hear everything and it's like, oh no, you hit it bad. No, they played it, and then you heard every detail in this. It was so rich. The mix was fantastic. They ride that compression edge, but never go over the edge of it, and it's got great depth and space for how big the sound wall is as well. This is how you mix it loud but keep it clear. This is one of those mixes. And I love where the vocal sits and how the lead guitar punches through and then dials back to sit back with the rhythm. It's awesome. I thought it was damn well done. It wasn't fatiguing at all in that regard. Some good panning on this as well. And again, like I said, I love the bass tone captured on this release. That was just wow. And there are some really subtle layering if you get stuck in. There's a part where there's some back harmonies just sitting way back in the mix, but they just feel like a sound wall beautifully. It's pretty pacey overall. It's an unrelenting kind of release. The tempo changes break it up. There are no ballads though. It's pretty much 50 minutes of balls to wall old school metal. It's just damn well, and time flew by for me. Again, I've said it a few times. If you like old school metal, get into it. If you don't, stay away. It's pretty straightforward. But if you like it with riffs, rhythm, melody, and good lead, if you consider yourself a traditional metalhead, I think this is one for you. I'm guilty of overlooking this band. I'm not sure that I'm going to go through their entire catalogue knowing the history of the hit and miss releases, but I do definitely like this one. I want to check out the one beforehand because that one's getting rave reviews as well, doing the research of this. I reckon there's enough here for a lot of people to enjoy. Don't overlook this one, especially if you've overlooked them in the past or their past output has put you off. I think this is a great release. Go to 9 out of 10. Prisoner of Time, Prepare for Chaos, The End, and Survive were my standouts. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think.
Nice.
That was different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, grab me. It's going to be one of those ones where it's either going to grab you or it's not. If it doesn't, then...
No, grab me straight away. Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Listened to it a couple of times and just, for whatever reason, just...
No, that's allowed. Yeah. Don't have to like everything.
Yeah.
You want to jump back in for the mail?
Yeah. The mail. Oh, yeah, that way? Which way? This way?
No, we just got that.
Okay.
All good.